way there right now. Go meet with our friend Miles and learn a little bit about how he got his car.
Yeah, he has a very cool car, so I hope you're excited to see it when we get there. Bye.
All right, so we're here with our friend Miles. We're going to learn a little bit more about his car, but first, Davis, you have a few things you want to jump into?
What was your first car?
It's a 1988 Nissan Stanza.
Okay. What is your favorite car you've ever had?
This car.
That's not surprising.
What is your dream car?
Probably this car. Yeah. Maybe the actual Aventador, perhaps. But
okay.
The next step up. But.
What is your favorite ice cream flavor?
Oh, peppermint. I actually had it last night. We just talked about this. Yeah.
Straight up peppermint or like peppermint chocolate chips?
No, just peppermint.
Just peppermint.
Just
Okay.
peppermint.
Do you like domestic or import cars?
I'm probably more import.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Favorite car, movie, or show?
All the Bonds have cool cars, right? The way they weave in cars, and they're always just such cool classic cars. They're not obviously the showcase of the whole show, but I like those a lot.
Yeah.
I always enjoy the car scenes in those.
That's definitely a good call out because people always mention Bond cars. Like, right? I think maybe one of the first ones was when they had the Gull Wing. Right?
Yep.
That was iconic. And then you had, and then I guess the newest one I can think of is when they started bringing the Vanquish into it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Vanquish was cool.
That seemed cool. And manual or automatic?
Well, yeah. I mean, I always dreamed for a car that's a manual. My first car was a manual. I've had a couple manuals. I miss them. This is a dual clutch, so it sort of gives me a little bit of that feel, but I'd love to find a nice car in a manual.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay.
All right. So let's jump right in then. So why don't you tell us just the story about how did you get this car? Like like you were just mentioning that this is your dream car. So tell us the story.
Yeah. So when I was probably 8 or 9 years old, I was driving down a road with my parents, and we saw a Lamborghini. It was the first time I had seen one in real life, and it was, for me, I grew up watching Miami Vice, and I mean that was my dream car, and I saw it in real life. And for me, it was a Countach, and it was a mid '80s Countach, and it was so wide and so low to the ground. I remember I saw it from a mile away. You could see this bright red thing, and I'm like, what is that? And as we got closer, I realized what it was, and I made my parents turn around, and we went back, and I've got a picture of it. At that point, I was like, that's my car, it's my dream. I gotta get it. And then I got into sales years later, and I had a sales manager. He got a phrase called a BHAG, a big, hairy, audacious goal.
Yep.
And he's like, what's your BHAG? And I'm like, I've never really thought about it, but it's a Lamborghini. It's on a Lamborghini. So I set my BHAG then, and so years later, I started looking around, and I had there's about 200. If you type into Auto Trader, there's about 200 of these cars sitting out there used around the nation. And it's hard to find. There wasn't many here. There's only 3 in this area.
Right.
And but I didn't want to get one out of Florida, and I didn't want to get one out of Texas.
Right.
That's where a majority of them were coming out of Florida. So
I
found an importer up in Mount Vernon area that gets them from Vancouver, Washington.
Interesting. Okay.
So he had it and brought it in. It was a one-owner car and only had 3,000 miles on it.
That's amazing.
I put another 3,000 miles on it. So it's funny. It's a 5-year-old car, and in 5 years they put 3,000 miles on it.
Wow.
And I put 3,000 miles on this in about 3 months.
Yeah.
My first 3 months of driving it. So I'm a big fan of driving it.
Yeah, I'm a driver too. I think that. Man, if you're going to work really hard and get something that's super fun to drive, like I'm going to drive it.
Yeah, it's not going to sit in my garage.
It's not going to sit in my garage.
Yeah.
And, I'll deal with the, I don't know, you got to fix nicks and paint, and you're going to have to do some maintenance, but that's why you get it.
It's worth it. Yeah.
Want to drive it.
Yeah, totally.
I totally get that. The Countach in Miami Vice, that was white, wasn't it?
Predominantly, yeah. They always had a couple that would come in that were different colors and stuff. But white was and that white. So when I was a kid, the first one I saw, and actually the only one I saw for years, was this red one. But in my room, I had a poster, almost life size of this Countach. It was white, and
that's awesome.
I've always wanted a white one. So this, when I bought it, was actually silver.
Right.
So that was my only catch with this one, is it wasn't my dream color, and I'm like, I gotta fix that. So I think I bought it, and the next day had a wrap ordered for it, and it was in the shop about a week later to get wrapped.
That's awesome. Very cool. So tell us about what it felt like when you finally. So what did they they imported it in? Did you go pick it up and drive it, or did they haul it to your house?
So weirdly, with these cars, it's really hard to go take it for a test drive.
Right.
You don't just show up and test drive it. So I actually bought it, negotiated and everything, and did all that without even having. I sat in it, and that's about it. Never turned it on. Didn't know if it ran. I didn't know what the gotchas were. So I bought it and turned it on and drove it out. So it was epic. I was scared to death. I drove speed limit Sally all the way from I-5, just putting along, and it was overwhelming. It's weird to drive. You're super low. Your visibility is terrible from about here back. So it took a little while to get used to, but it's super fun.
Who was the first person you told that? There's got to be someone that you're excited that when you decided you were going to make the.
Yeah, so I haven't really told a lot of people.
Okay.
I haven't, but actually the person I mentioned earlier, the BHAG, my old sales manager, I called him, or I sent him a text and told him. So
that's very cool.
Yeah.
He must have been pretty excited.
Yeah, totally.
That's cool. Awesome. Well, cool story. So bringing from since you were 8 years old.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wanted to get a Lamborghini.
Yep.
Put in the time, the work, the effort to find it.
Yeah.
And here it is sitting in your driveway now. You clearly are enjoying it since you've doubled the miles on it.
That's right.
in just a few months, which is awesome.
Yeah.
That's just a neat story.
Awesome.
And a good thing, just even like for your family and just for others that will be watching, to see that if you stick with something, you can eventually get it. But you gotta have some kind of goal and have your mind on it. All right, cool.
Awesome.
Why don't you show us around and show us what do you think are the coolest features on the car?
Yeah, sounds good.
All right, now we can see the car.
All right. So some of the things that stand out to me is just the car's profile. Like, I love the slope of the windshield, how it matches in with the hood.
Yeah.
And it's very cab forward, so like when I'm driving, my feet are like right up in this area.
I know, that's so crazy to me. That's really cool.
It's really weird when you drive. I don't know how to describe it. It just felt very different, and I've gotten used to it. It took a little while, but now actually I love it. It feels really, really cool. Aesthetically, the wheels, these are aftermarket wheels, so I bought these and it came with factory, the Lamborghini wheels, but I really wanted some matte, kind of metallic gray wheels on it, or gold. Mason wanted gold, and I said, that's too flashy. Yeah. So I got these instead, but they're a fully forged wheel from ADV1. The process of building them is really cool because you can pick from like 20 different finishes, 40 different types of wheels. You can choose to have exposed rivets or not. It's really a fascinating process to fully custom build a wheel. So the wheels for me are, I especially like them. And then behind the wheels, that carbon ceramic brake setup is just so cool. I've taken like 10 pictures, just try to get like artsy photos of it, because for me, I just geek out over those brakes.
Yeah, those brakes are huge.
They're huge. And actually, if you look in here, when these wheels were added, like the tightness, the fitment is insane. Like in here,
super tight. Yeah,
you can barely stick a piece of paper between there. So I don't know how they get that accurate.
Super cool.
But the back wheel is a lot more concave, so it's much more of a dish shape. And the stock wheels come at 305 in the rear, and these are 325. So I went much wider wheel in the back.
Gotcha.
And then just the lights in the back, the profile, I love it all. And this one has the glass roof. Actually, I can pop that too if you want. Engine in bay is all carbon in there as well. It's really cool looking.
Can't wait to see
They
it.
focus a lot on weight in this car, obviously, right? So
Yeah.
it doesn't have a lot of features inside of the car. It's pretty basic inside.
Yeah.
I've got power windows, and that's about it. But again, they're focused on weight.
I think that's one of the things that a lot of times people forget about, like more like your supercar type cars, is that a lot of times you don't have like the creature comforts of like that you'd have in your BMW or your Lexus. It's because it's about performance.
Yeah,
right?
totally. Yep.
Yeah.
There we go. Well, the water, fresh wash.
Super cool.
Yeah. being half open to the engine is always a little strange when I wash it.
yeah.
For a good day after losing water out the back.
Yeah.
Stuff I dry it off.
So this says LP6104. Is there
Yeah.
like other models?
Yeah, so in the Huracan, there is the, what's it called, the 582.
Okay.
So the 610 is the horsepower,
Okay.
and the 4 is the 4-wheel drive.
Got it.
So the step-down version with the 2-wheel drive, it's a lot more fun to drive.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have near the track performance, being all that
Sure.
power in the rear. And because of that, they actually step the horsepower down. They tune it down. It's just too hard to control.
Interesting.
So this one's got better. You can allow for more horsepower, and you can get on a little better with the all-wheel drive system.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. Very cool.
Awesome. All right, we're in the Lamborghini now, so let's go for a drive. Yeah. Yeah. My dad, I'm trying to convince him to get one on his RS, but he doesn't.
Ooh, yeah,
He doesn't want to.
that'd be cool.
Yeah, it would be.
And it stays there until the engine gets warm. And when the engine's properly warmed, it actually, my red line increases up to 8,500.
Oh, that's cool.
So funny thing about this car is that there's no, in a normal car you've got your shifter knobs over, or not shifter, but your turn signal knobs.
Oh, yeah.
And this car doesn't have any.
Oh, really?
That's all it is big paddle shifters.
Huh.
So to turn, the turn signal, I have to turn it, it's on my steering wheel.
That's super cool.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
So this is how I shift just flap those paddles.
Oh, yeah, that's super cool.
Should be up more there a little bit.
Yeah.
So now I know the engine's warmed up and I can actually start to get on a little bit. So if you want, I'm going to put the windows down. I know it's kind of cold outside, but that way you can get some engine notes.
Yeah. Oh.
So your channel's called Downshift, right?
Yes.
So you got to check out this Downshift.
Oh. That's cool. That's super cool. Sounds so good.
Head on back and I'll meet your dad.
Okay. I love the sound of your car. It's awesome.
Thanks. ride, super fun.
Yeah.
And actually, I've got it this it's called sport mode. I can go into Strata, and it actually takes away, it kind of softens the ride, softens the shifting, and really quiets the exhaust, and really becomes kind of a really smooth driver. You're good.
Shut up and sit down. Shut up and sit down.
See ya!